Well, the name KF22, why did I change it from Kfresh? So 3 reasons. The first one was more so because it's a simpler than the name Kfresh22. I felt like I kind of grew out of that, especially with what I was talking about from the beginning, from when I started. And of course, you know, some people keep their names the same, but I, at the time, was saying, you know, I don't really talk about a lot of what I used to. So I said, you know what, let me change the name. And that's kind of what led to changing the name from Kfresh22 to just KF22, which of course the name is still there, but it's shortened, it's simpler, and we moved in a different direction. So that was the first reason. For 2, there was an overlap of several artists. So when I originally came up with the name, what's funny is that it was just me at the time. But over time, I don't know how that happened, because usually when people, you know, create names, I would assume they kind of look stuff up and kind of see if somebody else has a similar name as them. But yeah, it ended up being a thing where you go on Spotify, you see like 4, 5, 6, somewhere around there, other names of Kfresh, and then you also had somebody that went viral on TikTok, who I didn't even know about this guy before, and this was actually one of the bigger reasons, who calls himself DJ Kfresh, and he's been around since I think 10, 12 years, and he posted some sort of beat that went decently viral, and I said, you know what, bro, I probably want to look at a different name, and separate myself from the repeats and everything. Start to think about how I could possibly keep my name, but just make it either more simple or, you know, change it altogether. But that guy was creating music way before me, so it was kind of a thing where there was way too much overlap with what I wanted to do, and I didn't really want to, you know, run across that. The third one, so not all of it, but a lot of the music that I was making from the initial start was different, a little bit different, and some of the stuff I was talking about isn't necessarily what I talk about too much present day. So I wanted to move in a different direction, more so because now I understand the direction I wanted to move for, you know, what I stand for, what the brand is going towards as far as direction wise. And yeah, that was the third reason as to why I said, you know what, it's not just one, it's several reasons as to why I want to do this. And you have plenty of artists that, if you look at their discography, where they started and where they are now, completely different people, right? But for me, it was several reasons. If it was just one of these, then it may not have been enough for me to say, let's make the change. But because of several reasons, and then the overlapping, and then me saying, I don't even make music and talk about some of the stuff that I used to when I started initially, or yeah, how I started initially wasn't how I'm moving now. And on top of the other 2 reasons that I mentioned, it just made sense. And the direction that I knew my brand was going, that was, again, leading into the third reason as to why I said, hey, let's go ahead and make this change, because it's simpler, it separates itself from other people, from all these repeats that I was seeing. And then it even got to a point where somebody named himself the exact same name as me, and then he was putting his music onto my Spotify, and then a little bit onto my Apple Music. I think it's still there too, and I was having issues removing that, and it was just a whole nother thing. So again, that was one of the reasons why, and one of the reasons why it led to me saying, let's just make a new name. And KF22 is still Kfresh for people who have, you know, been there from the beginning. Yeah, that's really what it was. But yeah, we out here in Jamaica, man. Beautiful Jamaica. Just had a workout. Actually, I did not go to the pool. I'm gonna do that after a shower. But this was a question I was asked a few times, actually up to the year before last, when I made the change, and was asked about it. And yeah, I answered it here and there, but didn't really make a video on it. So, you know, at this stage now we have this. So yeah, that was really those were the 3 reasons that led me to saying, let's do this, man. And here we are. So a lot of new music coming on the way, new artwork. We're finishing up the 3 original stories that we're doing, one for Caden that's about to be finished, and then putting out Leon's. Technically they already are out there, but those are more like to get a story out there, to kind of have them with the, you know, AI and everything, kind of putting some stuff together. But yeah, we have those 3 stories getting done, and from there we can actually start moving. I would want to start moving the stories forward, because we kind of have some side stories, but again, there's no real depth to the characters. And of course, you know, we can build that over time, but I wanted a baseline so people can kind of understand a little bit more about the characters. Initially, I didn't really have an idea to do that, but said, why not? Let's do that and move in that direction. Actually, I have a much longer story that connects with the Danny Phantom side of things, that we'll see how it goes. We'll see how that fleshes out. But hey, the sun's about to get crazy now. As you can see, it's coming down. But as I always say, we'll see how it goes.